What's up, Alex?
How we doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm excited to get into this call with you and talk about just your experience with my coaching and your results and everything. So, just kind of go into what you who you are, what you do, and kind of just how you know me.
So my name is Alex Hulse. I am 22, a student at UK. Um, I know you from Billy Basham, good old Basham, my sniper. Shout out. Um, my you mean go into fitness background a little bit?
Yeah, go into it
And
a little bit.
nutritional. Okay.
Sure.
So fitness background. I mean, I nothing specific like this. This was my first like workout program I've done. I've been active most of my life. High school I played sports, so weightlifting throughout then, training, that kind of stuff. Um, College, just your typical, like, working out here and there at the beginning. Kind of got into a routine the past year and a half or two. So that's about the extent of my fitness background before this. Nutritional background, I've never had a specific nutritional plan that I've stuck to like this. I've thought I ate pretty healthy, your Jimmy John's, your
Yeah.
Subway, where you feel good about yourself. But it's not as healthy as you think after going through all this. But still, I tried to do my best when it came to getting healthier side of foods, but nothing specific when it came to nutrition, like sticking to numbers on your macros and stuff like that. So it's about
Awesome.
the extent of both of those.
And you are a senior in college, correct?
Correct.
Yes, gotcha. And you're planning on graduating in May?
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens
Hopefully,
with
yeah.
that.
That's with this virus and everything. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so awesome, man. And just for everybody listening, kind of go into why you reached out to me and what your initial goals were whenever we actually did decide to do this.
Yeah, so I being honest, the reason when I was trying to figure out what I could do, with my shoulder being a little banged up, trying to figure out how, like I said, I worked out, like, had a routine the past year and a half or so with more lifting, and so I was trying to figure out how to switch from weightlifting to more of a muscle definition rather than muscle gain.
Yeah.
So it kind of came about through that, where I was, looking to change up my workout style. And I actually talked to Billy and I asked him, and he was like, Austin's the perfect person for this. Shoot him a text and he'll set you up, or he'll talk to you about it. And so that was kind of how it all started, just trying to switch from your weightlifting to more of your HIIT style workouts.
Yes.
And yeah, that was how I got in touch with you.
Awesome, man. And just kind of go into whenever we did start up, go into like what your initial goals were. I know that you wanted to you wanted to do the typical lose weight, but also gain muscle or maintain muscle and just get better definition. But kind of go into more of why you wanted that and the process of not knowing how to do that.
Yeah, so like I said, I was trying to more cut weight, but maintain the muscle that I had, and like had been weightlifting the past however long, trying to maintain and keep that while also cutting the extra fat that I had. And so my starting weight was about 162, 3, depending on what I had for lunch. How
Yep.
much, back and forth, what scale you stepped on. And so I kind of just wanted to cut. I'd also been as 170, so that was not where I was looking for. So I kind of got down to about 163, 164 when I got in touch with you. And so yeah, so my goal was to, like you said, cut weight but also maintain that muscle. And I wanted to work on more core and your lower body stuff to do that. And yeah, I mean, everything that I was trying to do was accomplished throughout this program. So
Awesome, man. I mean, your results speak for themselves. I mean, you killed the program, and your results in just 6 weeks was astounding. Like, I don't think people like a lot of people don't realize is it takes a really long time to actually create a lose weight and gain muscle. but you actually just showed up every day. You were disciplined, you tracked your food, you hit every workout, and you cut out the things that weren't very, you realized were impeding your results. Um, Kind of go into just the start, what your initial thought process was whenever I said you were going to be tracking everything we put into your mouth. Kind of go into that
Yes.
because I know that that's like overwhelming, but how did you simplify it? How did you decide to create that discipline? Like with the things you did to put towards that, like good energy towards that.
Yeah. So when I first started, you know, we obviously program. I paid you for the program, and I was like, all right, so here, this is a start. I'm gonna give it my 100% effort, and that's
Awesome.
just, just kind of my mentality. Like I'm gonna, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it and finish it. So
It's
when I
the
first
well,
started,
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. That's
uh,
important you say that because humans work that way. It's not just you. Once we are financially invested into something, we instantly start to
like,
take it serious. And when you invest in yourself, and which is one of the best investments you can ever make, then we start to actually take it really serious. And I'm just glad I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think that's important to state that initial investment already lit that little spark to get you going.
right, no, it was, and it's just like you said, it's just how we work, and once you invest in something like that, you typically aren't gonna want to let yourself down and waste that money. So, but yeah, so we started, and when you said, you're gonna be tracking your foods, and here's a tracker, and here's your workouts, and blah blah blah. I remember, like I told you earlier, I was sitting there eating that sandwich on like the first day, and I was like trying to figure out, can I just type sandwich in on like a tracker? Do I have to like go through each ingredient? And
Yeah,
I texted you like, so is this like a thing where I have to put every single thing in this tracker? And to count everything, cheese, your meat, your
your
lettuce,
mayonnaise,
tomatoes,
condiments,
Christmas
all that stuff. Yeah,
bread. And you were like, yeah, that's just, once you do it, you'll get the hang of it and blah, blah. And I remember sitting there, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a lot. But it really, at first, it was a little overwhelming, especially not doing it. But anything new is gonna be tough at first. But it was really easy once you got used to it. You had the diary that kind of kept up with all your foods, and so you really didn't have to. You typically eat the same stuff, once you go to the grocery. So it was simple. You got used to it, and that was go into my favorite part of what we did over the past 6 weeks, if I can go in that, because it kind of
yeah,
feeds off of this. Is that
yeah. Go for it.
the nutritional side was definitely my favorite part of this, because like I said, I've worked out and stayed active most of my life. I've never tracked food and kept up with that. And it was cool to see, like, when you look at like my numbers on the tracker, the first week was, I mean, your numbers are pretty here, there. But the
Yeah,
biggest thing that I like is, like, when you come into like a nutritional program, most people give you specific like meals to eat, where you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But with your program, you don't set specific foods. I like how you just give numbers and let us figure it out on our own, to where you can eat what you want. And at first your numbers are going to be off a little bit, but it's
obviously,
best. I mean, it's best for humans to go through, trial and error. And
exactly.
that's just kind of how
Yes,
you figure it out. But it gives you that freedom to where you don't feel like you're locked down with certain foods and forcing yourself to eat things. So that was the coolest part to me, just the nutritional side and tracking it and learning how to track it. So I'll catch myself going through the door and just looking at different labels to see,
good.
just interested in what it's, what it has in it. So that
Yes,
was that was
good.
just something cool that kind of changes your mindset.
It does, man, and that's what I'm really glad that you enjoyed that, because there's so much. Meal plans are great. They're if in a perfect world, a meal plan would work for everybody, but we're humans,
Right.
and as soon as that you tell someone they can't do this and they have to do this every single day, it's overwhelming. And we don't work that way. We like to eat pizza, we like to eat ice cream, we like to have an occasional fried food, we like to drink alcohol, but as soon as you say you can't do something, you instantly start to crave it. And that's just how we work. And that's why I go about that way. I go about flexible dieting and no meal plans, is because I also want you to learn what you're doing. I don't want you just to do a cookie cutter plan and just follow everything I say. I want you to actually, like, I wonder what this has in it whenever you pick it up at the store. And that's awesome that you're doing that. And I've heard my clients say that a lot, is because that creates an intuitive mindset of what you're putting into your body, rather than, oh, that's not on the meal plan, I'm not eating it.
Right.
Does that make sense? And
Yeah, and what it
and
developed.
yes, and my whole style of coaching, to I want my client to be good to go as soon as they're done with, like, as soon as our time's up. If my client can say, "Hey, I love your stuff. I love the program. I feel like I'm going to try this on my own to see how I do." If my client tells me that, I am thrilled. That means they saw the results they wanted. That means they got as much value as they possibly could have from my coaching, and they can do it. And then word of mouth, they tell other people about it, and then they want to learn. And that's just a nice way to go about things. And that's kind of how the style and how I approach my coaching. So now you can go to the grocery store and say, that has way too much added sugars in it, that I'm going to avoid that. Or
Right.
this bar says protein bar, but it has 10 grams of protein. That's not a protein bar. And you can start to understand that stuff, and like nutrition labels, daily calories, all that stuff. You can actually have a better mindset towards, rather than just, oh, I don't eat fried foods, or, oh, I don't eat this or drink that. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Awesome, man.
it's like you said, it's better because it's not. Yeah, you're not like a robot. You learn on the fly. You mess up and you learn how to readjust, and it's the
And
way it should be rather than following a
yes,
specific plan. So that
yes,
was definitely my favorite part of. I mean, I liked your whole system, but that was, if I'm picking something, that was my favorite part of
good.
what we did over the past 6 weeks.
Good, man. Awesome. So going more into that, what was something that, how did you like the app? How did you like how the workouts were set up? How did you like the whole interface of progress photos? Kind of go into that real quick.
Yeah, so that was really nice. I was impressed with how you had all that set up. Simple, easy. That's like the biggest thing for most people is they're overwhelmed coming into these kind of things. So just having a simple app where you just click on a workout and then it starts a timer and then you just go do what it says. It's really not that hard. And there's some workouts that like I didn't know how to do, and you have a video tutorial showing how to do it. So if you don't know how to do it, click on the video, watch the video, and it's not hard at all. So it
Awesome.
was set up well, and you kept all your numbers. For some workouts, it didn't have the timer because it wasn't a timed workout like the EMOMs and stuff like that, where you could just keep numbers throughout and just kind of count in your head on how much rest you needed.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was nice keeping the photos on there. Because like you said before, I've never done taking the photos and stuff like that and tracking, just because, like I said, I've never done a program. But it's nice to see your progress because you get tired. Like when I told you hit a wall week 3 or 4, and it's kind of like you get lackadaisical, but once you just see the progress through photos, it feels good to like watch yourself, get results, obviously.
It does,
But
man. It does.
the app was set up really well. I mean, simple, like I said, easy to use, and that's the biggest thing for these
Heck
kind of
yeah.
programs is easy to use apps.
Glad
So
glad you enjoyed that, man. And just one other thing. Um, Obviously that we had a weekly call, and that was just kind of go over your week, your numbers, kind of teach you a little bit more about why we do this stuff. And can you kind of go into how that weekly call kind of helped shifted you to set you up for the next week? Like, did it help? Did you really need it? All that stuff.
yeah, no, it was nice having a weekly call. Just because you have questions, I would write down questions throughout the week that some things that I just wanted to ask about nutrition or about the workouts. So just to catch up on that, it was also nice just to talk about the numbers, just to make sure that I was on track and doing the things, and talk about different foods and how they affected me, and different drinks, and how alcohol affects your diet and stuff like that. Just like questions like that where you don't know unless you studied nutrition, and so more about that. So it was nice being able to talk to somebody and um, just be able to conversate about just small talk,
Yeah.
nutritional wise and workout wise. So it was really nice to have just a weekly call, just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to just
Yeah.
go over
Awesome.
everything.
And that's kind of what the purpose is of that call is. Obviously, it's to hold you accountable, to make sure you're doing your stuff, getting the tracking, hitting the numbers, getting the workouts in. That's obviously what it's about. But it's more to it. It's it's having another person looking at your stuff. It's having another person excited for your results. It's kind of just, it's different. And I
Yeah.
know I experienced that with my business through my business coach. It's exciting to talk to because he encourages me to keep going, and he encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing, because in the long run, it's all going to pay off.
Right.
And I think a lot of people who struggle with seeing results, struggle with hitting plateaus, they feel like they're doing it alone. And then they start to blame themselves, because then it just gets to a negative energy that they're seeing no results because they're not doing something right, or it's something else, and they start to blame other people. They start to blame just everything going on in their life. And having someone to help you, not necessarily get you there, just help you stay in the right mindset to get you there. I think that's what I try to do with those calls. And I try to bring my positive energy to every call and to every question that you have. But yeah, man, I really enjoy the calls. That's one of my favorite parts about my job. And it's just fun. It's you get to
Yeah.
connect with people, you get to actually get to know them, and that's just, it's life. You get to meet new people, and life is all about who you know.
Yeah. And just being able to help people is always a nice
Exactly.
thing. So
Exactly, man. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Well, other than that, let's just kind of just dive into. Obviously, you lost what 12-ish pounds during this 6 weeks, which is absurd. But what was some of the exercises that you found yourself like getting better at as during this 6 weeks that you were constantly doing?
core was my biggest area of improvement for
Okay.
sure. It was something that I never really dove into when I worked out. So you think the core's fine, but you don't realize that there's really not as much muscle as you think. And so
Yeah.
at first the core was tough. But yeah, core was definitely the biggest improvement. Just different workouts. Planks obviously got a lot easier, which are nice. Um, the leg flutters were awful at first, but those, as time goes on, get easier. Um, you just all the different core. I mean, there was a lot of core that
It
I did
was.
through
And
the
that
six
was
week.
one of your main goals, was to
Yeah,
actually hit core as hard as you can. And I think your results showed, like, dude, your abs got way more prominent, and you shed some fat off of it. So it may actually look like you lost weight and gained muscle, which is the kind of what you wanted in this
yeah.
program, correct?
No, you hit it. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that was what I was looking for, and that's what we got. So, um, yeah, I mean, core was my focal point, and that was definitely accomplished. So that was
Awesome,
like
man.
that was my big thing. So that
Good
was the
stuff.
thing I really.
Good stuff. Well, I'm just gonna ask you this. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feel with the results that you got through this coaching program through the 6 weeks? Like, what is your thoughts on that?
Um, I'd so I'd say I'd say a 10. Like, and I know it's kind of cliche, but
No, that's
I
awesome.
gave I gave it my 100% effort. Like I told you. I mean, it was tough and it was hard days some days, and I hit a wall about week 4. But I took it one day at a time, did my workouts to my best ability, stuck to the nutritional plan to my best ability, and tried to hit numbers. At first I was a little off, but I kind of started to even it out, and all my numbers were pretty dead on towards the end. The
They
last
were.
couple
You
weeks,
did really
except
well,
for
man.
protein, was above above number, which if you're going to be over, protein's probably the best thing to be over on. So I mean, yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, I really think that I got the most out of it, and it was a great program, nutritional wise and workout wise. And I mean, if you come ready to work and give it your best, you'll definitely see results. So
Awesome, man. That means so much to me, because like my whole premise of this business is to help people reach their goals. And when they actually tell me a 10 out of 10, which is unheard for me for this business, it's really cool to hear that. And it motivates me to just keep going and keep growing as much as I possibly can to reach more people and to affect more lives, which that means so much to me, man. I really appreciate that.
no, yeah, I mean it too. I mean, like I said, the workouts are tough, but if you do them properly and you give it your best effort, I mean, it was only 6 weeks for me. So I mean, if you if I continue to
Exactly.
do this for, many more weeks, you just continue to see more and more results. So
Yep.
it was a great program.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that. Just lastly, anything else you want to add to any thoughts, any comments, or just pretty much if someone were to ask you your about this program and my coaching, what would you tell them? Like, how would you say?
I would 100% recommend it to anybody. I mean, anybody who's looking for not just high intensity workouts. I mean, you have a bunch of different workouts in there um, that include weightlifting, that include cardio, that include, I mean, just about everything you possibly can do. And thank you for all your help. It was tough, but you made it easy with your app, and like I said, how you set up the nutritional side where you allow us to figure it out on our own. You have a great program, and I
Appreciate
appreciate
that.
all the help, and the results paid off because of your program. So I appreciate it, and thanks for all the help along the way too.
Appreciate that, Alex. It means literally the most. Alrighty, man. Other than that, I think we're good. Thank you for this call and thank you for your thoughts and you killed it. It was a pleasure working with you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.